When you look at Baltimore's defense on film, how have they evolved since the first season?
They do such a great job. Obviously, they got great experience. They got guys who fly around. We have, they have a lot of tremendous playmakers, and I think you're noticing just the season evolving for them. They're just getting better as they go. I think they're doing a good job of it.
Russ, what did you learn from the tape in Philadelphia that you're pushing forward for this?
I think the most important thing is we got to focus on now. We don't have time to, even think about last week. I think the most important thing coming out of it though is that we got to give ourselves the best chance to win, and putting ourselves when we get in good situations, go capitalize on them.
It seemed like last game against the Ravens, they were in that too high shell a lot. How does that test your patience? And what's the balance of knowing when to pull the trigger in those situations?
Yeah, I think you always want to be aggressive, but you also want to play smart and matriculate the ball down the field too as well. If they're going to do that, and that's okay too. I think that's a big thing. We run the ball so well. I think we've done a good job of getting the ball out. And guys making plays and converting and all that throughout. First and second, third downs usually for the most part. And so I do think though that we're playing a team that's really well coached. We're going to have to play our best football too, and it's going to be a great game.
Russ, Pat's caught a touchdown in 3 straight games.
Yeah.
How has that since you've taken over?
Yeah, Pat Fryermuth's on fire. I mean, he's just making plays for us. Yeah, he wants me to say it again. Pat Fryermuth's on fire. I think he's done a great job of just making plays. I think that trust and that extra work we've been spending too, and he's one of the reasons why I was excited to come here, just because of what he was capable of. And he's continuing to rise in a great way.
Russ, you guys were positioned to clinch the division with the win on Saturday. You've been in that position a lot in your career. What is sort of the key to sort of taking that final step, especially when you're going against a big time?
Yeah, I think first of all, we've got to be able to calm the nerves early and the excitement, and to be able to play and think clearly and efficiently and effectively, but yet play with an edge. I think that's really important. I think also too, we got to do the fundamental things. We got to make our layups. We got to hit them. We got whether if it's passing or running or making our tackles or special teams or whatever it is, and then ultimately knowing that this is a playoff matchup, and so there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. As you guys know, I like to always say, just stay neutral. Don't get too high, don't get too low. It's a 4-quarter game for a reason, and we're going to battle our way through it.
Mike Thomas talked about the importance of not warming up the competition, coming in and setting that tone earlier. How do you guys avoid those mistakes early in games that force you to have to say, hey, let's get into this game first?
Yeah, I think the clean, fast start. Once again, it goes back. A lot of times it goes back to fundamentals and what we're doing and how we're doing it. And just as I tell you guys, every game has a history of its own, and that's just the reality. We've done a really good job, especially in the second halves, of capitalizing on opportunities. I think we got to do that throughout the game. That's always the goal. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't mean the game's over. And so I think that's the key part to the great game and the great thing about football and the game of football is you can start hot and not finish strong either. So you got to throughout a game. And so I think the key part is just playing one play at a time and make that play great. And and you're worried about this or that, and got to do this, got to do that. No, just play this play and do this one really great. And I think that allows you to focus on the moment.
How did you develop the patience or the decision making to know when it's time to pull the trigger and push the ball down the field, and maybe when it's time to dial back a little bit?
Yeah, I think for me, I've been fortunate to have some really great playmakers throughout my career. I got, obviously guys like DK, Tyler, guys like Calvin, guys like GP, guys like Pat over there that we were talking about earlier. You trust them, and you guys like Mike Williams who's made some great plays for us, and Van, and I think you just trust the guys that you're around, and I think that the aggressiveness is key. You got to get some explosive plays. Sometimes that's a screen. Sometimes that's a ball down the field. Sometimes that's a shallow cross. Sometimes it's a seam ball. It doesn't matter what it is necessarily, but I think that putting the ball in the playmaker's hands, and sometimes that's also checking it down, when it's not there. And I think the process of elimination is really important. I think that I've learned that early on throughout my career, and really understanding that, being able to pre-snap understand what they're trying to doing and why they're trying to do it, and situational football, knowing when to be aggressive, when not, and understanding that too.
You mentioned Calvin as one of those guys that you trust. What have you learned about just his mindset and approach, and what's kind of stood out about the way he's grown throughout this third season?
Yeah, he's been spectacular. I mean, ever since he came to San Diego, and I got to spend time with him and go to dinner and hang out and throw and work out together. I just was was just incredibly excited about him and who he is as a player, as a person, as a competitor. He has the gut, the grit, the guts to be able to play hard and be a smaller guy. You know, it's not easy to do, to be honest with you. You know, and I think I told you guys for a while, he reminds me a lot of Tyler Lockett in terms of his ability to understand and process on the move and see things. And he just has an appetite for learning. I think that anytime you have an appetite for learning and processing and growing, I think you got a great chance. And he definitely has that. Obviously, his speed and his ability to get in and out of his cuts is spectacular. You know, he can do it all. And he's been one of the biggest highlights, I think, not just of the Pittsburgh Steelers, but of the National Football League in terms of a guy that's up and coming and has a great chance to be really special.
Is there anything extra you do with George Pickens, you know, while he's unsure about if he'll play or not, but to stay locked in with him to keep you guys' connection throughout the week?
Yeah, George and I talk quite a bit throughout, you know, practice and throughout the, you know, in the locker room or whatever it may be, in the meetings too, when we in the same room. I think he's done a great job of just being really in tune. You know, I told you guys, I don't know, 4 months ago, you know, George is one of the best teammates in the sense that, you know, he's a guy that we love because, you know, you saw the first game he wasn't playing, just his energy, his enthusiasm to us, and he lights up a room. You know, he really knows how to do that. And so in terms of football, though, I mean, he's such a good processor in terms of what he sees and understands. And so, you know, you don't have to talk to him too much, but when we do, you know, he's always watching every rep and he understands it. So that's good for us.
Lamar's close to breaking the rushing yards by a quarterback that Michael Vick, the record that Michael Vick has.
Yeah.
What's impressed you maybe about the way that Lamar runs the ball as a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I think guys like Michael Vick, Lamar, there's been some special guys running the football. You know, he's a unique individual. I think that anytime he has the football in his hands, he's special. Man, it's been cool to watch. You know, just over the years, people doubt him. You know, and his ability to make plays. I think, you know, anytime you're rushing for over 5,000, 6,000, how many yards he's got, it's pretty, you know, remarkable in itself, no matter what position you play. And then also, too, you know, he's been able to do it, you know, throwing the football as well. So, you know, he's a tremendous football player.
Along those lines, when he breaks Michael Vick's record, would that solidify him in your mind as the best ever dual threat quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good question. I haven't really thought about it. I mean, I think he's definitely one of them for sure. You know, you think about the greats like Michael Vick. You know, he was one that just really just lit up the whole stadium. The guy from Virginia. By the way, congrats to Michael Vick on the Norfolk State. My grandfather was president of Norfolk State for a long time. So, but I think that you know, guys like Lamar for sure. You know, Michael Vick. Those guys are unique individuals in what he can do. So. I couldn't disagree with it, that's for sure.
Outside of the game,
Sorry,
Last two guys.
Yeah.
outside of the game, you and Sierra just opened the Why Not You Center.
Yeah.
Just how important is that for the community?
Yeah, it's so exciting. I just think that to be able to, you know, impact this community has been really exciting. I think that to open up our Why Not You Center here and also in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club here, and we plan on doing more Why Not You Centers across the country and stuff like that. It's really exciting for our foundation, Why Not You Foundation. We want to do more in the community too. We're just getting started in that sense, and it's been a blessing in that way. And so, I think the joy in it all is just seeing I was telling C, it's like just seeing the smile on the kids' faces. I think that's what life's about, you know. And sometimes life circumstances are challenging, but how do you inspire a kid, you know, every day? I think that's my goal in life.
Russ, Najee just took full blame for the fumble. How much is it important for him to not dwell on it, and how much have you seen in the past guys using something like that as a motivator for the next game?
The best thing about Najee is he loves football. He loves his team. He's going to give everything he has every day. You know, he's been remarkable this season. You know, and he's been spectacular running the football. He's done some special things for us, and we wouldn't be where we are without Najee, to be honest with you. He's done a great job. His physicality, his toughness, his grit, his love for the game, his passion, his energy, his focus, his stability in terms of how he's done a great job. Stuff happens in a game, and it wasn't that one play. It's a collection of plays that we think that we could capitalize on. And I know that he would do anything, you know, to not have that one. But the best thing is we got another opportunity to play, and he's going to shine. He's going to do his thing, and I can't wait to see how special he is come Saturday.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, thanks.